What's good, what's happening? Welcome to Yanga Loves, the show that brings people from Africa who are doing things and making waves in their field. And today we are here with royalty. Please, for the people that don't know, introduce yourself.
My name is Seun Adigun. I am the driver of Nigeria's historic women's bobsled team that competed in 2018 Winter Olympics and the only African to compete in both the Summer and Winter Olympic Games.
I mean, I'm just going to start with a little round of applause anyway. How'd you go from track, doing hurdles, to bobsled? How does that conversation go?
Honestly, I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like, it just kind of fell upon me. The track journey was one that was like a very emotional journey, a very mentally and physically just challenging journey for me. And so having achieved the things that I was able to achieve as, you know, a three-time national champion for Nigeria and an African champion, I think that going to the Summer Olympic Games for me was like, okay, that's where I'm gonna end my professional career. I'm invested in these years to do that. Mm-hmm. And then I never announced that I was gonna be retired after that. And I never understood why I didn't announce it until 2014, when some of my track friends, you know, from when I was running, they went into the sport of bobsled. And so I was like, man, let me cheer for my friends at the Winter Olympics. This is kind of cool, I'm happy for them. And they were doing bobsled. I was watching it on TV and I was like, this sport is actually kind of interesting. I might be able to do this. I got this. And like 6 months went by and I was just doing some research on it eventually one night, and I learned that the US team was having a combine in Texas for you to try out, go through like some exercises, and then they would see if you could be worthy enough to make the team. I was like, man, it's in 6 weeks and it's like up the road for me. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do this. If I'm gonna do it now, I'm just gonna do it. So I trained for 6 weeks, messed around and made the US team. And I was on the US bobsled team for a year. And while I was on the US bobsled team was when I learned that the sport was actually trying to grow. They were looking to bring in more women to the sport because it just didn't have a lot of women in the sport. Nigeria themselves were looking for their first class of Winter Olympians, and I had that relationship with the Nigerian Olympic Committee because of the fact that I had participated in the Olympics and I was national champion for several years. When I started putting those things together and then realized that Africa in itself had never had a bobsled team, I was like, come on, this is 2016 at the time. And I was like, you mean to tell me we can't get one team from that entire continent represented in the sport? So that's when I knew it was much larger than me.
For the people that don't know, so you competed in 2012 for Nigeria in the hurdles.
Yes.
Were you able to take like the experiences you learned from there into the Winter Olympics? Was it a completely different thing? Like, what was the synergy like going from one sport to another?
Being an Olympian is more than just seeing something on TV and thinking you can do the sport. It's a mentality, it's a disciplinary action, like, and not just discipline in itself as a sport, but self-discipline. You have to be able to be concrete in your decisions. You have to be able to limit your distractions. There is a lot of things that go into being an actual Olympian. And so that type of mentality transitioned very well in bobsled, especially the nature by which I had to compete, because I was on a very, it's not a normal line that I took going to the Winter Games. Of course. And so this little unconventional way needed a little bit more discipline and patience than any other way of getting to the Olympic Games. And so I think that not only did the mentality and those practical aspects of my life transition, but the athletic part as well.
Going into the Winter Olympics now, you're training, you're preparing with your team. I mean, I remember hearing about you from ages ago. I remember seeing the photo of you guys with the flag and I was like, rah, this is mad. Like, Winter Olympics, this is not something I usually watch, but now I'm involved. But did you realize you were going to create such a buzz, such like a historic moment, I suppose, for a lot of people?
You know, the crazy thing is when I first brought in my brakeman to my house, we had this meeting, and I said, okay, our very first bobsled meeting. I said, guys, we sat down, we had bobsled 101. I kind of broke it down. I had this whole like presentation, you know, did all these things. And then afterwards I sat down and I said, ladies, this can go one of two ways. And we have to accept it either way. If we're gonna go in, we're gonna go in accepting either way. We can just be dedicated to doing something bigger than ourselves and, you know, knowing that our intentions are pure and that we wanna just be able to achieve this feat. Or we can do A, everyone can catch wind of it and it can go viral. And then our lives will change forever. Now, these are realities. We just have to face them. It could be cool or it could be, great. It was just a matter of, this is bigger than us. We need to get this going. And I enlisted in their help to help me get this first team off the ground.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
No worries. Take care. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone at home. Thank you very much, Seun, for coming in.
Thank you.
This has been Yanga Loves. I hope you guys enjoyed it at home. Peace and love. Signing out. Tim.